Hello. Today we are going back to the Lowlands. Lowlands Scotch malt is one of my absolute favorite styles of Scotch malt whiskey. In fact, like way back in the day. See, I have gray hair, old. Way back in the day, I used to try to get more people into Lowlands Scotch. I would like just shove a bottle of independently bottled Bladnock into their face and be like, try this. This is awesome. Right? And then they'd be like, this, I'm not seeing any sherry on this. I'm not seeing any peat. I don't care. And they would move on and leave me alone, and I would just be lonely and sad. And that's how I spent a lot of my time growing up. But Lowlands whiskey is experiencing a little bit of a resurgence. There's a bunch of new distilleries. And so we're going to try two of them today. One is Lindores Abbey, and the other is Daftmill. This is a sample. You want to know why I have a sample? So this is a 10, maybe 11-year-old whiskey, this Daftmill. How much do you think that should cost? 40 bottled at 46%, well presented. $50, $100. This, if you bought a full bottle, would be about $250. So there's a reason why I have only invested in a little 2-ounce sample of this guy. And then Lindores Abbey. I could have, if I were just trying to evaluate the distillate, I could have bought a bourbon cask one, but the sherry, the fresh sherry butt one was the same price, and could you resist? Because I couldn't. Here's the problem, though. I want to give these a proper sparring partner, a proper, benchmark to measure how good these things are. What would you pick? Would you go Auchentoshan, maybe? Bladnock? Good choice. But no, because you see, there is a hidden king in the Lowlands. There is a distillery that's been around for a long, long time. And they have very unusual, kind of very large stills. They do long fermentation times. They do like close to 90-hour fermentation sometimes. And they have worm tubs. Worm tubs, the hottest thing in Scotch nerdery right now. They got those. And it's Lowland whiskey, and it's twice distilled, not triple distilled. So this is hardcore stuff. What distillery am I talking about? Want to take a guess? Glenkinchie. Glenkinchie. Yeah, I know. Glenkinchie is a distillery where, I'm just going to take this stupid box off the table. I bought a bottle of this stuff like 14, 15 years ago. I drank it. I thought it was a little uneventful, and I never thought about Glenkinchie since. And I'm sure a lot of others have had similar sorts of experiences. The thing is, if you look at, go look at the stats of Glenkinchie on scotchwhiskey.com or whatever. Just go look at them, without prejudice. And you will start to say to yourselves, wow, this actually sounds like a really legit distillery. This sounds like good stuff. So we're going to try it. We're going to try Glenkinchie 12 to see if anyone's missing anything. So let's get these poured. By the way, Scotch people, make your corks better. Like it's a natural cork. It fits in tightly. It makes a nice noise when you pull it out, but if I were to open this like 10 years after release, like I'm going to have to get this stupid cork out with like one of those expensive $90 wine corkscrews for vintage bottles. Like, do better. All right, let's pour our Daftmill. So we're going to go down the line in order of increasing strength. And let's see how these are. See what's what. There's the last of my $250 bottle of Daftmill. And this, look at this color. This incredibly dark Lindores Abbey. All right, They're all poured. I am already like 5 minutes in. Let's get this party started. All right. Tasting notes. First of all, the Glenkinchie, standard shelfer. I'm guessing this is bottled 2023, 2022 maybe. On the nose. So Glenkinchie, again, has a reputation for being a little bit dull, a little bit middle of the road. And in terms of how it's presented, yeah, this is 43%. This color is fake. It's totally been chill filtered within an inch of its life. But if you pay attention, there's actually a fair bit of complexity here. There's the first thing that comes out is quince, like particularly like a quince jam, green apples, lemon bars, field flowers. So lots of kind of fruity floral notes, some honey, actually quite a lot of honey, wildflower honey, graininess, like a muesli note, like soaked muesli. Tea, but it's there's also like a light smoky thing. It's not peat, but I don't something smoke like so. Let's say like a Russian caravan tea kind of thing, very lightly smoked tea. Vanilla bean, coffee. What kind of coffee? Like light roast Costa Rican coffee. Some nectarine in there, hints of stone fruit. Multigrain bread. It's really hard to get notes off of this because it's like you can sense something is there, but because it's like there's such huge batches, because this has been processed within an inch of its life, like it's just really hard to kind of grab onto the notes as they show up. But there's character here. It's actually pretty okay. On the palate. I mean, so that face I made was, it kind of gets a hair bit like fragile and on the finish, like a little cardboardy and bitter. Again, that's the presentation. That's caramel colorant. That's just the blending of a gajillion casks. But otherwise, yeah, this is a really nice. So it's a really nice fruit forward, but dense, not dense, fairly complex malt signature that's just being hampered a little bit by the way it's been bottled. Hold on, let me see what else I can tell you. Quince jam again. There's an apple note. It's hard to nail down. A lot of what's going on in here is hard to nail down. Like mixed apples, let's say mixed apples. There's a pastry, like an almond croissant, so nutty pastry kind of thing. That Costa Rican light roast coffee thing again. Darjeeling tea. There's a little bit of a lemon, like it's not really lemon. It's more like almost lemon oil. And there's something in this reminiscent of like a I don't want to say California Chardonnay, maybe Sonoma, but cooler climate, but maybe like a Macon, Chardonnay, like that. There's that kind of mix of appliness meets a little bit of sour lemon minerality thing. And there's a little bit of there's a very subtle like ashiness to this. Well, pepper and ashiness. One more time. Yeah, that's about the best I can do. There's a little bit of, again, it's not peat, it's not really smoke. It's just kind of little bit of ash, along with some black pepper. Oh, and like a vague vanilla thing. Um, yeah, man, this is food for thought for me because okay, so if you came up to me and asked what distillery in Scotland would you like to see a change of ownership for? Like, just take it away from current owners, give it to some cool independents who will actually give it a chance. Usually, my answer is Scapa, uh, but I gotta be honest. This is kind of in the running. Like this, especially the cast. You can just tell they're not contributing a whole lot of character to this. You're giving it some vanilla, but that's about it. Like this color's, it's got to be fake. Like the casts aren't doing that much. Um, but there's potential here. Like you present this. It's not just about presenting it well as an individual bottling, but I mean, you take this, you give it like just better treatment of the distillate, longer fermentation still, better barley, um, better yeast strains. Maybe even throw a little hair bit of peat in there. Like this could be a absolutely banger, banging whiskey. I'm gonna add some water and come back to this. The fact that it's already a little bit kind of bitter and fragile on the palate makes me worried as to what this is gonna do after I give it like 3 or 4 drops of water. But we shall see. Now, Glenkinchie is based. It's not in Edinburgh. It's like a little ways east of Edinburgh. But with these two, we're gonna go a little ways north. They're in Fife, not that far away from each other. They're like I don't know, 5-10 miles drive away from each other. And we shall start with the Daftmill, 46%. What are my stats on this? So this is a vatting of 4 casks, 3 ex-bourbon casks, and an ex-oloroso cask as well. 1,785 bottles. This is the summer batch release, 2009. All distilled from Optic barley, which is quite kind of cool. Distilled August 2009, and they say bottled 2020. They don't give an age, but maybe like they printed the labels before they actually knew when it was bottled. So I would guess. I mean, it's got to be 10 or 11 years old. It's got to be one of those two. All right, so mix of different casks, 46%. Let's see what our $250 gets us. And it's just I should say cool distillery, by the way. Like it's double distilled. It's basically a farm, first of all, which is very cool to me. Like this is a farm that's making malted barley forever and ever and ever. They do their own malting, by the way. And they've just started diverting some of that malted barley to whiskey production at their own home distillery. How great is that? Dunnage warehouses on the farm. It's kind of cool. I just wish it was cheaper. Let's see what happens on the nose. Ooh. So my first thought is like lemon pith from like really good, like lemon pith from heaven, like the best lemon pith. And then it's hard to sort this out. The second thought is like Swisher sweets and banana, which is an unusual combination, but like there it is. really banana peel. So like it's like you just finished your banana and you're smelling the peel, and there's a guy right next to you smoking a Swisher Sweet. That's kind of what this smells like. But throw some lemon pith in there as well. It's dense. It's not, the nose is actually not very giving. I'm gonna. I know not supposed to swishy swishy. I'm supposed to swirly swirly, but I'm gonna swishy swishy this. Applesauce, cream of wheat with honey, and there's something like yeasty, but fruity at the same time. Like it's strawberry shortcake is the best thing that comes to mind. But it's even more a little bit yeasty than that. So it's like you made a strawberry shortcake with some really funky yeast, is what I, some weird yeast. There's some kind of aromatic woods going to this, maybe some balsa, crayons, yeah, little hints of minerality, like a little bit of just rock dust, some melon, white pepper, cinnamon sticks. Yeah, this is just. It doesn't even feel like necessarily that much better a distillate than the Glenkinchie. It just feels like it's showing what it's got, like that much better. And even so, it feels like it's not showing that well. Like I'm curious to see what water does to this on the palate. Yeah, and this is why I love Lowland whiskey and that kind of profile. It's complex. There's not like one thing that's punching you in the face. There's a bunch of different things kind of going on, playing off each other, and this is very sessionable. Like I could just, you know, if I was rolling deep, I could take my bottle list, slap it in the middle of my table with some buds, and just work through it through the night as we were, I don't know, hanging out, talking, playing cards, whatever. Um, it's complex. It's interesting. It's a little bit mouth-watering, um, and it's just very drinkable. That even at 46%. Flavors: vanilla, apple pie, honey, tons of different honey. But it's fun. It arrives very bourbon cask Lowlands, but it closes very sherry cask. It's got this very ashy sort of finish, and it's got like a lot of pepper as well. This kind of, it kind of finishes on like, like old man tobacco, pipe tobacco smoke, like with a little bit of plum flavoring. So like plummy, ashy tobacco smoke. That's kind of the finish on this. Cream of wheat again. Lemon peel, cinnamon, banana peel. Um, Strawberry, but like almost a green, like a slightly unripe strawberry, and you're eating like the green part, the green leafy things too. And yeah, that kind of ashy, peppery finish. Um, Good finish. It kind of hangs on for a long time. And it's got this little bit of a mouth-watering thing. It's got a hint of acidity on there, which is really nice, especially for something sessionable. Um, Good mouth feel. The mouth length is actually letting me down a little bit. It's kind of stopping just beyond my molars. Really not a lot happening in my throat. You know, keep your mind on the gutter. Um, I'm hoping water will solve that. I think water will do better things to this than it will to the to the poor Glenkinchie. So let's give this some water. We'll come back to it. I will say right now, would I pay $250 for a bottle of this? No, no, I wouldn't. It's good. It's not that good. So let's come back to that in a second and tackle this monster from down the road, also in Fife, Lindores. I'm not sure if the name for this is Lindores or Lindores Abbey. I've seen both. But anyways, it's a very cool recent distillery built on Lindores Abbey, the ruins of an abbey, kind of pretty far north in Fife. Now this is an exclusive cask for Denmark. How did I get a hold of it? But what it is a sherry butt. Sherry butt number 2018/0582. And it's 3.5 years old, more or less. 790 bottles came out of this. And it's cask strength. So, big butt. You know, and we like big butts. And we can't lie. So, given the color on this, after 3.5 years, I'm not expecting a whole lot of subtlety or a whole lot of distillate character, but we shall see. Oh, 52.6%, so not as strong as you would think, but a little stronger than the others. And the nose is not shy about, and particularly not shy about its cask character. You know the sauce that comes with Peking duck? Is that hoisin sauce or is it like a different? They're very similar. I don't know if they're the same sauce. I don't know. But the Peking duck sauce, that is what this smells like. It's really, really, really intense. Like, this is not a naturally built sherry cask. This is like crazy doped up, trend up sherry cask. It's with like, yeah. This is they juice this cask for all it is worth. Peking duck sauce, Hershey's Kisses, beef bouillon, beef jerky, like but like nice beef jerky, like homemade beef jerky. Espresso and like a Demerara rum note. Like, we're not talking like single cask, Port Moran or anything. This is like just like Pusser's gunpowder. Like, you just dunked some Pusser's gunpowder in your Peking duck sauce, and that's what this smells like. But you kind of persevere with this, and those like super duper heavy, aggressive steroid sherry cask notes kind of lift a little bit, and you start to get hints of what's underneath. Honey, lemongrass, overstewed English breakfast tea. Fig, yeah, that's probably still from the cask. A little bit of like a stoved Virginia tobacco. I mean, it's not deep. It's not, it's got complexity. It's got some character, a lot of character, a lot of character. It doesn't have like the signs of age, like that kind of like just integration of everything. But it kind of works, and I kind of hate that. All right, let's see what happens on the palate. So, Lindores Abbey, you were dirty cheaters. you're absolutely cheating with it. Like it's a 3-year-old malt, and it shouldn't be good, but it is, and I hate that this works. Um, what does this taste like? This tastes like you took some like chocolate fudge sauce and stewed it up with like demerara rum, that kind of pusser's thing, and smoked brisket. That's really what I'm getting. And it's not showing like a ton of, hardcore, not hardcore, like deep integration, tertiary flavor notes, stuff like that. But it works, yeah. Beyond that smoking duck, smoking duck, Peking duck sauce note again, raisins, figs, black pepper. Give me a sec. If you go looking for it, and you do have to kind of push it a little bit, you can find little hints of what the distillate is. Banana peel, clover honey. But you do have to go looking for it. So I'm curious to see what water does to this as well. Is it going to like intensify the the power of the cask, or is it going to kind of like lift it a little bit, let whatever they're distilling kind of come through? As of right now, this is annoyingly good. Like this shouldn't be so good for something 3.5 years old, and it's unfair, and I hate it, but it's good. All right, let's give this some water. 1, 2, 3, at least 4, right? Because it's 53-ish%. Yeah, that's about right. I hate it, but it works. There's a little bit of raisiny sweetness on this. I wonder if there's some PX going into this. Oh well. Sweet oloroso is no longer a legal thing on the wine shelf, but it is totally a legal thing for, aging whiskeys. All right, let us go back to the Glenkinchie. On the nose. Yeah, it's Glenkinchie. It's delicate, which I'm kind of into. Like it's banana, lemon peel, but there's layers. It's slightly nutty. Everything is just muted by the presentation on this Glenkinchie, but it's delicate, it's complex. I don't know. I really wanted to try this distillate again after that the special edition from Diageo I reviewed a few weeks ago. And is it letting me down after that? Yes, but you could do something with this. Like, Diageo will never listen to me because they don't care. They're making too much money. But, man, you take this stuff, like, age it in decent casks. Like, not weird Frankenstein recharred, decharred casks to just juice out vanilla from half-dead wood. But you'll give it some, like, mostly fresh bourbon casks and, like, a second use sherry hogshead thrown in there every once in a while somewhere. Like, get that up to 10 years old and bottle it at cask strength, well presented, and put it out there. I think that would be a hell of a whiskey. I really do. Could you do better with this distillery, with their setup? Yeah, absolutely. But that would be a start. I I do like the signature. I just want more from it. Okay, on the palate. And there is your problem right there. You don't have to drink this with water, of course, but water tells you the truth about what you're buying, what you're, putting your money into. And you add, literally, you saw me, it was like 3 or 4 drops of water. You add that much into your glass, and the water makes this brittle and stale and slightly bitter, and just not that nice. So don't add water to this. If you got a bottle of this, don't add water to it. But that being said, if you have a bottle in the back of your closet and you just got bored of it because you moved on to other malts, take a second, dig that thing out and give it a pour. Just give it a pour. See what's there. Try to be unbiased. Yeah, wow. Tough one to score. There's a much higher ceiling in this than is what is indicated by what this bottle is giving to me. But I have to grade what's there. I'm going to give this 83 minus. It's not shit, right? It's a lot better than that. But it just falls short of what it should be. And I'm going to leave it at that. 83 minus. All right, moving on to the Daftmill. Now with some water. The table's very shaky today. I don't know what that's about. All right, on the nose. Gets a little bit more expressive, and a little bit more expressive of the distilled. Strawberry. It's very strawberry, peachy, lemony, banana-y. Yeah, it's just nice. I would love to have a bottle of this, except $250. But yeah, there's a fruity freshness to this, and a little just kick of rock dust, which is giving it some character. Yeah, good nose on the palate. Just a damn good whiskey. With water, the vanilla comes through a little bit more creme brulee happening. Let me try this one more time. I like this. It's very sessionable. But I kind of have to get my bias out of the way and kind of try to grade this objectively. So, I'm going to say right off the bat, this is not worth $250. If you're just buying it for something to drink, it's totally not worth that. And there's definitely complexity there. It's definitely delicious, but in terms of absolute quality, I don't know. I'm going to only give this 85 plus. I think it's darn good. So I've given that same score to other things, and I would drink this well before I would drink those other things. A lot of those other things, at least. So it has that sessionability thing going for it. But in terms of absolute quality, it's good, but it's not that far up there. Yeah. 85 plus for the Daftmill Summer Batch 2009. Moving on to the... I am very curious to see what this... Well, with all these, I was curious to see what water would do. With the Lindores, I am especially curious because I want to see if I can get any sense of the distillate underneath the sherry. All right. Lindores Lowland Single Malt Scotch Whisky for Denmark. Here we go. Okay. Whoa. Give this some water, and yeah, what I was hoping for actually does happen. The distillate, what is underneath this roided up sherry cask, actually starts to come through. Oatmeal. So making a lot of Chinese food references in this video, but you know, like lemon chicken, you know that lemon sauce that they put on the lemon chicken? That's totally in here. Like oatmeal, lemon sauce, and apples. It smells Lowlands. It smells fresh. It smells refreshing. And I like it. By the way, I was trying to read as much as I could about Lindores or Lindores Abbey Distillery. They have 3 stills, which implies triple distillation. But nowhere that I read did I see anything that said, by the way, we're triple distilling. So I don't actually know. Like, there's nothing stopping them from just, like, feeding both of the wash stills into one spirit still. I don't know. If you are from Lindores and you're watching this, please tell me. Because I literally looked for that for, like, 20 minutes. Yeah, man, it smells like lemon chicken. I'm totally into it. On the palate. Same kind of story. I mean, it's still bringing a lot of like chocolate and like beefy smoked brisket goodness, but yeah, there's a lot of just Lowlands malt happening right now. Barley, honey, that kind of lemon sauce thing. Irish stout. Not crappy regular Guinness. We're talking like the foreign extra stout, the good stuff. Yeah, I hate it. It's 3.5 years old, but it's actually very, very good. I'm in. I feel like I'm selling my soul somehow by giving this a better score than the Daftmill. But yeah, this is an 86 point whiskey. 86 points for this Lindores Abbey for Denmark. And by the way, this is cheaper. And there you go. Glenkinchie, 83 minus. Daftmill here gets an 85 plus. Lindores in a monstrous sherry cask gets an 86. So what is the takeaway? I guess that it's all well and good to be growing and malting your own barley and then distilling yourself and doing the right thing, aging it in your own dunge warehouses for years and years and years. And that's great to do. But you know what's better? Just slamming it into a goddamn sherry cask that's super active for 3.5 years. I'm sorry. Thanks for watching and cheers.